Welcome into this video. I would like to take you through how you can file your employment income tax, also named as ITR, income tax return, using the iTax portal. So this is the most recommended method which I advocate one should use. The manual method or the using Excel sheet method, which is not populated. So we have made a video, the first video, which is showing the one with the pre-populated ITR sheets, but I usually recommend the one which you do manually and being able to subject necessary leaves which are accorded to you, and also notice where there are discrepancies. So with no much ado, let us get started. Ensure you have a calculator and also you have your P9 form with you. So let's get started. To get started, we need to get back into our covenant, which is the P9 form. In the P9 form, you usually have the PIN of the employer and the PIN of employee. To send in the KRA portal, we need the PIN of the employee, since this is self-assessment. So when I get the PIN of employee, I'll come and input it here. Then I can click continue. So basically there is you need to come here. The PIN will be auto-populated. You need to re-enter your password. You also need to do a basic mathematical computation, which is 125 plus 15, which probably is 140. Then you log in. So when you get into the portal, you notice that the option is usually here. So you just click return. So when I click return, what I will do basically, I will just choose file return. When I choose file return, I'll be taken into this interface where we have the type, which is self. We have the tax PIN. We also have the tax obligation, which is income tax for resident individual. Then I'll click next. When I click next, basically what I need to do, you can see we have something, an add-on here, which is download the auto-populated ITR return. So this auto-populated ITR return is basically applying for VAT and also income tax return. But in a lot of cases, you notice that when using this auto-populated form, as I demonstrated in the first video, you need to be skeptical about it and notice the details are auto-populated as required. So according to me, the method which I usually recommend to be in the safer side is using the normal conventional method, which is using the Excel sheet. I just click here. So just download the Excel sheet and use the normal method, and you'll be able to notice why when we compare it with the one which I shown you in the first video, which we are using the auto-populated ITR return. So from there, the sheet I had already downloaded. So get back into my File Explorer. Okay. So this we are doing at what is the time now? 2:14. So I need to get in the sheet which I've downloaded at 2:14 because I need to do something. So you get these compress this folder. So before you open this folder, I notice a lot of people usually say this Excel sheet doesn't open it is blocked by macros. More so, even when you are trying to input the profit and loss and balance sheet in case you have other incomes like withholding tax. So I would recommend you click above that document. Then you come to where we have properties. Okay, just give me a minute. So the document is here. You click above it. Then you come to where we have properties. I would recommend you unblock this document, then apply, then click OK. Just remember to do that. I don't want you to get into troubles. Then click above that document and then choose to extract all. When you choose to extract all, just click extract. Okay. When you extract now, you can click above that sheet and then choose to open it. So open it with the normal conventional Excel. Don't open it with WPS since macros will not allow you to continue. So we have opened it with using the normal Excel, which is from Microsoft. So I'll enable the content to be editable. So just click OK. So hope it doesn't take a lot of time to load this. So from there, now we'll start entering my tax details. So this is the normal conventional way. So the tax detail, we will start with the personal identification number, which is your KRA PIN. I'll just enter it here. Let me give it time to load some sheet here. So what I need to do, I'll enter my PIN here. After entering my PIN, I need to select the type of return which you are doing, so which is the original in my case. So in sometimes when you are doing amended, the difference is negligible. You just need to choose the amended and do the necessary amendment. So the tax period is from 1st January 2025 to 31st December 2025. So in case you have other income such as the one which attract the withholding tax, that's if you have other incomes, for instance, originating from consulting services and interest from T-bill and T-boards, you need to select other incomes, and I'll show you what usually happens when you select yes, you have other incomes. I want to show you what will happen in this scenario. You notice some sheets will be added here. Will be added here, as you can see. You can see additional sheets here, which are here now. So we have P&L, the balance sheet. So, but in my scenario, since I don't have that problem, or that I don't have other incomes, I'll just close it. I say no, and do the necessary adjustments which are required for an individual with only employment income. So just go directly to sheet F, which is here. In sheet F is where I am supposed to enter details of the employment incomes. So I need to enter the PIN of the employer here. So the PIN of the employer, to get it, you source it back to your PIN form. So in your PIN form, your accountant is supposed to give you the PIN of the employer. As you can see, the PIN of the employer, of my employer here. Let me select it. Give me time to select it. Then I need to copy it and then bring it into my Excel sheets, which are here. Let me come back into my Excel sheets. So I need to enter it here. Then the name of the employer is already given in your PIN form. Is always given in your PIN form. Is always given in your PIN form. So I had hidden it, but I don't think there was any need, because I need it to be visible. You just see it. So let me open the PIN form again with the visibility of the name of the employer. So let me enter the name of the employer here. Let me enter it here because is an employer. So let me enter him here. There. Okay. So gross pay, as you can see here, the gross pay, you can also get it from your PIN form. Let's come back into our PIN form again and get our gross pay. Our gross pay, we can be able to source it from here. So some accountants will use different words. Gross pay, other will use gross wherever the word they use, just know it is refer to the gross pay. Okay. So gross pay is an adjusted income. That is basically what it means. So we come here and enter the gross pay here, the formula, pin it here. So allowances and benefit from employment other than car and housing is 0. I don't have. I'll continue doing the adjustment. The net value of housing, I'm not provided with housing, so that is 0 also. Just fill so that you don't get errors when validating the sheets. 0. Okay, so the total employment income, as you can see here, it is being reflected here, and the total is visible here. So we can continue. In case you have 2 employers, you can add a row. I needed to clarify that since I had been receiving question about it. So other income with final tax. Now we need to go to this sheet now. Let me close this window here and try and make this screen fit here. Need it to fit well here so that you can see it clearly. Okay, so the PIN of the employer, you just click the drop down arrow here and it will populate. The name of the employer to appear in the PIN form. Let me enter it here. Okay, the taxable salary. So the taxable salary is the salary which will be subject to the tax. You may get it being referred differently from your PIN form, but the taxable salary is this one. But like in my PIN form, they are naming it as chargeable pay. So it's just synonym name. They are just synonym names which will be used here, which is 459 192. So to avoid making a lot of mistake, I usually recommend sometime just highlight it, copy, get back to your Excel sheets in the formula because you cannot input it and hit enter. So we also have the tax payable on taxable salary. So this is tax payable on the taxable salary. So to get the value of tax payable on taxable salary, this is a very simple computation which we need to do basically. I'll not open the calculator in my phone, in my machine. So I'll just do this way. I shall get back to the PIN form and show you how we usually get that value. To get that value, you need to take the summation of the payee amount, which is here, the payee amount, summed with the personal relief. And that is how we get that value. So we take 45,207.60, we add 29,950, we get 75,157.6. So let me get back into my sheets and put the value of the summed amount. The summed amount is the amount of tax payable on taxable salary, which is inclusive of the annual personal tax relief. But my annual personal tax relief is inclusive. Let me show you why why I'm getting the value of 29,950. This is because in my PIN form, I have been accorded from this ERP system. We have generated this PIN form a relief of 1,150.2 as the affordable housing levy relief. That's why you are getting my value of personal relief exceeding the recommended monthly relief of 28,800. Let's continue. So I'll just come here back in my Excel sheet and now enter the amount of the tax payable on taxable salary. So let me enter that amount here. So it is 75,157.6. Let me hit enter. So you need to also enter the amount of tax deducted, which is your payee amount. So your payee amount is visible then in your PIN form. So let me demonstrate it again. So this is the amount of your payee amount. It is here, which is amount of 45,207.60. So I'll get back into my Excel sheets, which are here, and populate that amount here, which is 45,207.60. I hit enter. I notice you have noticed something. The difference between taxable pay on taxable salary and the payee is giving you your personal relief, your annual personal relief of 28,800 if you are not accorded affordable housing levy relief, which I was accorded of 1150. That's why mine is equivalent to this amount of the annual personal relief. Hope we are together up to that point. So we can continue. So to notice you are correct, that's how you confirm you are correct with what you are doing, and that's why I said the manual method is the best compared to the auto-populated sheet which are provided by KRA. So let's continue and continue with the filing of our tax in 2026 and ensuring we get everything right so that you don't overpay or underpay the Caesar. So let's continue and come to, we have made quite a good progress. We need to come to where we have tax computation. So when we come with the tax computation, what you need to adjust is the defined pension contribution. The defined pension contribution, you get it from your PIN form, which is here. So the defined pension contribution in my case, as you can see here, it is here, the actual amount of 30, it is of 3276. I want to highlight this amount to avoid making a lot of errors. I'll just take this amount and come back to my Excel sheets, which are here, and enter that amount. It is of the pension. I need to enter the pension amount. So I'll come here and input that amount. I'll delete this 0, and that is the amount I contribution to them, total pension contribution. So the other amount which I need to consider is the affordable housing relief, since I don't have the post-retirement medical fund. The affordable housing relief, the relief technically, as it is in the government act, is 1.5 affordable housing relief, affordable housing levy. They are charging us an amount of 1.5 of gross monthly salary. But in our case, we have the gross salary in annual gross salary. So we take 1.5 of our annual gross salary. So let me use the calculator here, since so that I can accommodate everybody. So what we are doing to get the affordable housing levy contributed in the yearly basis, we will take 0.015, which technically reflect 1.5% of the affordable housing levy, multiplied by 511 to 100, then is equals to 7,668. 7,600. Then we come and paste that amount here. Okay, I didn't copy it, so let me copy it from my calculator. So I ensure I have copied it. Then I'll bring it here in the formula. I'll delete these comma since the system will not take it. Then I'll enter the amount here. As you remember, this elephant in the room called sheaf, which is working or not working, we technically, without any fear, we can say it is not working. It is being deducted as 2.75 of your gross monthly pay, but in our case, because we have an annuity, in my case of the income, I'll use the annual gross pay. So take 0.0275 multiplied by 511, because this is my gross income. If you remember, 200 is giving me an amount of relief, the amount of sheep, the amount which I have contributed to sheep of 14,058. Correct up to that point? So that's why I recommended us using the manual method to do these things, so that we can be able to accord credit where it is due. But if you remember, or if you recall, I had an issue somewhere. Do you remember that I was accorded a relief of, let me get back into the PIN form. So that you understand what I'm saying. So this is the gross income which I'm subjecting to 1.5 affordable housing levy and 2.75 shift amount from the gross pay. The reason why I said I didn't take per month is because the gross pay is originating from each month, and if you can notice, my income is an annuity, is taking the same figure, so it is we call it an annuity. So it is an annuity. So that's why I was subjecting the gross pay with these rates, which are supposed to be subjected to this income. So from that point of view, I wanted to show you an relief which I was offered, and we figure out where we are supposed to adjust this relief, since we cannot lose these reliefs and make it go under the bus. So you can notice we have an affordable housing relief of 1150.2. How are we supposed to adjust this relief? So you can notice, based on my Excel sheet, as per now, there was a section which was here, a section L, which was allowing us to adjust the relief which have been given, because this relief is being combined by the annual personal relief of 28,800 plus now that relief originating from affordable housing levy. But you can notice this personal relief is subject to a ceiling of 28,800. It cannot exceed this amount. So in order to adjust the relief or to factor in the relief, we need to take this amount of the affordable housing levy of 7,668 plus, and then we added the addition of the affordable housing levy, which is here. Let me show you something, which is here from the P9 form, figuring out 150, is it 150.2, giving us a gross amount of 8818.2. So what I have done, I have grossed up the amount of the annual affordable housing relief and plus the annual housing relief of the affordable housing levy plus the annual housing levy relief, in order to overstate the affordable housing levy to write off or to cancel out the field which I don't have of adjusting this relief from the sheets. So that's why you see that my affordable housing levy seems to be overstated with that amount of relief in order to write off that amount. So what I have done to make it simple and understandable, since I'm speaking rather than showing you the action, I will take, let me move this calculator a bit. I will take this amount, which is here of affordable housing, which is here. Let me copy it. I'll put it in my calc here. Then I'll add the relief of 1150, so that I can overstate it to write off the relief, because I'll not allow this relief to go. So it is 88,118, 88,118, 88,118. So just copy this amount. Then I'll come here. I'll put it here. Then I'll come here. I'll write off this by this. So as you can see, this is now this is how now we are supposed to do it. So I don't think there is any other thing I need to do adjustments here. So all is done, and accorded the necessary relief and so on and so forth. So I have a tax which I need to pay here, amounting to 807.40. This is the amount which I owe the Revenue Authority. If you are good with this amount and you need not verify, you need to validate now these sheets. So this is the recommended method. This is the method which I could recommend, since it gives you the laxity of ensuring you have input the amount in your P9 form, and you minimize a lot of error which can be caused by autopopulation, because the autopopulated sheets, they are based on the KRA servers, which are prone to errors. So in order to save yourself from those errors, I would recommend you use this method, so that in case even you have the withholding tax and income originating from consulting and interest from maybe bank or treasury bill and bonds in the government, you can be able to do adjustments and ensure everything is done correctly. So this is the only information which you need. You don't need a lot of information to do this. It is something which you can do so easily. So because the sheets are already generated, I'll just click yes. So as you can see, the sheet have been generated and have been saved under the document. So I just click OK. So after clicking OK, there is no other adjustments which I need to do. So just get back into the KRA server or portal, which is here. After getting into the portal, I'll just come and choose the file which I have downloaded from the document. It was I just get into under the document and check the latest the file which I have lately downloaded. Let me say latest. The latest file is here, which has been generated. This is 2025. And you need to be careful if you have generated a lot of file like me, because I have been doing this thing for quite some time. So I need to check the correct. You need to check the correct dates. This is a must. So I did a lot of these things in 2025. That's why a lot of data is from 2025. So the one which I have done now is this one. So after doing that, and you are good with the amount, you can continue and hit submit. And after submitting, you will generate and print the acknowledgement letter, and you are good. So I will not be submitting this one, since I need to have a meeting with the client so that we can have communication about this and the tax due which we are getting, so that it can be clear, and then I give her the work and submit for herself. So basically, thank you for watching, and please don't forget to give the video a thumb up and also to hit the subscribe button, so that you never miss out any of our future arrowing content like this. I'm tutored to check if you have no, I don't have a property. So just if I need to please check if you have an agree. Okay. Let me show you something, so that I don't want you to get in troubles when you try. So you can agree. You need to, do you own property? No. So then after, you need to check this, do you have property? No. And agree to term and condition, and then you submit. But I don't want to approve now before we have a meeting with the person who I'm working with this P9 form. So basically, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to give the video a thumb up and also to hit the subscribe button, so that you never miss out any of our future arrowing contents like this. Also, in case you need personal consulting with me about taxes, that is VAT, income tax, and withholding tax, and also withholding VAT, you can reach me through the contact in the description, either through my phone number in the description or my email, but I usually recommend phone conversation through WhatsApp.